Hey ho! This is TPAW from TPAW's Playground with Kaijus Unite, and with me I have my co-host Jonasnator over there. Over
Indeed.
there. See, I actually am pointing
Yes.
in the right direction this time. So we're going to be talking about kaijus, and we're going to be talking about mythology, and we're going to be talking about that's what this podcast is going to be. It was kind of like a spitball thing of like, hey, why don't we talk about monsters and mythology and things like that? So we're going to play
Yeah.
around with things every single episode and kind of figure out our ground,
Yeah.
establish a baseline essentially of where we're going with this, but we're going to have some fun. If you guys in the comments and you guys want to basically tell us things you want to talk about, things that you guys like, mention it to us down below. Like and subscribe, especially if you like us, and we hope you do. And Jonasnator, what are we going to talk about today?
We have a lot of topics, and we are focusing on this week's news. Well, kind of news. As we know, Godzilla X Kong, the new empire, will be releasing. It releasing on this day where we're talking actually, but and we we are both want to see the movie and we are both hyped to see it. You will see it today.
Oh yeah, I'm
So
gonna go in there and I'm gonna like try not to make as many dick jokes as possible when I go in to go see this movie because when you showed me the image of Kong and Godzilla running together side by side, I
mm,
I I burst. I burst a nut. Like I was like, oh my god, like this is childhood right now. Like well, I know we're adults and everything like that, and eventually people are like, oh, why don't you just get over it? It's that's like, oh shit. That's like you telling me to do that about Batman and like Spider-Man and everything else. Fuck you. So
exactly,
no,
exactly.
we're not doing that. Like we're gonna get hyped. We're gonna get crazy hyped and excited because this is Godzilla and this is Kong. And the last movie that came out was them fighting each other.
Yeah,
And
in the
after that
Monterey.
was technically Godzilla minus one, which I still haven't seen.
You
I
need
want to
to
see
see
that.
it. You need to
Yeah,
see
like
it.
you've been telling me forever about how much I would love that movie. So
Yeah,
I really badly want to see Godzilla minus one. My relative, my Aunt Tammy saw it. Like she literally took her uncle to go, or her husband, my uncle, to go see it in the theater twice, and then they ended up dragging my dad in the mix. My dad went to go see that movie, and so which is not that much of a flex because he's part of the reason why I know movies in general. But still, like my dad went to go see that movie. But as far as this goes, like what are your thoughts about this new Kong movie, like the new Kong Godzilla movie
my
so far?
fault is I'm really hype of what we have been seeing now in the trailer and everything. And as a Godzilla fan, there is like many different kind of Godzilla movies. Some serious, some more silly, campy, net, and all of those is really good. And with Godzilla Minus One, I got like my favorite Godzilla really close to the feeling on the really first Godzilla movie from 1954. But now with this one, it gives me a lot of late Showa era Godzilla movies, which basically was a lot of campiness, a lot of silliness, but it worked with the character and it just showed how diverse the franchise is. I'm a fan of the Monsterverse, and even with all the change that go on, I know that not everybody is fan of it, and that's completely fine. But I'm loving it, and the whole universe have been great. So yeah,
Yeah, no, I was solidly like in when you showed me that image of them running side by side. Because like not gonna lie, like some of the times when I see these Godzilla movies that are coming out, I'm just like sometimes I'll look at it because I look at it from the bare mechanics. Like you're kind of like more like Jeremy Johns, like where like you look at it and you're like you like to be easily entertained. Whereas I'm more like Stuckman, where I'm like, well the color filtering's decent, the score's nice. Wait, what camera was it? Like I get a little more deeper into it. But like when I saw them running side by side though, like I said, I popped a nut. Like I was just like going, oh my god, that looks amazing. The from what I understand from Godzilla Minus One, because I haven't seen it yet, but that one's a more serious take because you've got like
Yes,
the war movie in it, you've got the psychological aspect to it, and as you said, it's like a character study on the fact that Godzilla is technically representation or metaphor for bomb, right? Like, tell us
yes.
more about that.
And in like, if we go in Godzilla Minus One, the whole thing is that well, in the original, he metaphor of the nuke in Katamina, and here his metaphor for another thing. I don't want to spoil too much, but he kind of metaphor of the main character demon in a way, and what he dealing with while a lot of destruction also happen. But I also like that movie more like either drama movie would happen to have Godzilla in it, and they did amazing. Like it's my favorite movies and the original. It's so damn good, and I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it. But mine one it didn't. But
Yeah, my Aunt Tammy, the way my Aunt Tammy summarized it was a pilot guy who is trying to do his job and he's supposed to like kill a bunch of people and
he
then
was
he ends up
supposed
pulling out
to.
of it.
He was one of those. What the name of it? Basically, he was meant kamikaze. He was one of those kamikaze writer, so he was meant to kill himself while doing it, and people think he's a coward because he didn't serve his country that way. He got guilt on his hand because there were a lot of people he knew that died. So,
Yeah. So it's like
but
a conflict of a war hero then
yeah,
is part of that movie. And then while at the same time it's also a character study psychologically on the essence of Godzilla and what Godzilla represents.
yes,
Awesome.
definitely.
Awesome
So
stuff.
that's really awesome. While the new Godzilla X Kong, I don't expect it to have like a deeper meaning or anything. This movie feels more like a movie if you're all like a child and playing with toys. The feeling, I kind of get that feeling for this movie. My inner child that want to play with toys, and yeah, I think they pull. If that's the direction they're coming with, I'm all for it.
Oh yeah, no, I remember when I was like 8 or 9 years old and I was stomping around my bedroom with like Godzilla toys and stuff, and like just imagining stomping around as that Godzilla character, and then when we watched because the for me the original representation of Godzilla was not only the movie that came out in the 2000s that was where Godzilla got killed at the end, and I was like, God damn it, not again. And then like they revealed the egg hatched and it was the new Godzilla. You and I talked about that quite a bit before, like a while ago. But like that movie was a representation of Godzilla, but also the black and white ones. And
Yes.
I feel like black and white is starting to finally come back a little bit more. But
Mm.
Godzilla Minus One, that movie made like $112 million. And
Yes.
get this, guys. You'd think that the budget would be like 45 million, right? Like because the special effects and like the action sequences and shit. That movie was made for $10 to $12 million.
It's
10 to
fucking
12.
insane. It's insane.
Like you were showing me some shit from it because you were blowing up back in November, December, like when you were sending me videos and you were sending me some screenshots and stuff, and you're like, dude, this was made for this much. And I'm like, wait, what? And I just kind of dug a little deeper into that myself, and I was watching some of some of the trailers and then some of the stuff that people released on YouTube, and I'm like, no, it wasn't. And you're like, yes, it was. It was made for like 10 to 12 million. I'm like, that's crazy. And so, that was the thing. It's like I'm watching that and I'm like, how the hell did they manage that to make a movie that looked that good for that cheap? Like that's like old like horror movie type stuff. Like back in like 2000s, that's what the horror movie budget used to be before they started like piling on too much cash.
Yeah, like that. I feel like two things with an almost hate about it is one of the things is that a lot of Hollywood blockbusters might be too expensive over maybe they should have like used the budget a bit better. But then another thing is that we need to address the Japanese industry is not the best industry when it comes to paying people and all that stuff. So it kind of sad fact behind it. But even with that sad fact, what they did with that little money is still incredible.
Oh yeah, no, I was blown away. Like honestly, like I honestly expected the movie to I expected it to do well, right? Because it's Godzilla, but I didn't expect it to do as well as it did. And then also, like, let's also cover this: the fact that that movie went on to win an Oscar. Like,
Yeah,
it had some Oscar fame.
It won visual effect Oscar, and it had Andrew Schwarzenegger and what other kind name? The Penguin.
Go ahead and look it up. Go ahead and look it up.
The
You don't
Penguin.
have to recite everything off the top of your head. Come on now. I'm also cheating. That's how I knew the budget for this movie was because of the fact that I looked it up.
Yeah,
I did that while you were talking.
It had not only did he win Oscar, he had Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito being the one
that was one of my favorite parts of the Oscars right there. Was I was watching the video and I watched Keaton sitting in the audience, and it was almost like it came right out of Batman, because you got the Penguin essentially and then Mr. Freeze on the stage, and you can really tell the height difference. Like, you're like, holy crap, Danny is short. But like, you're sitting there watching them, taunt Keaton, and Keaton, just in perfect classic Keaton fashion, just kind of goes, and then he just kind of goes.
He did the shit.
He's just like, perfect Keaton fashion, just witty as shit, just like, reacts to them and is given this classic, Barb's back, and it was I was dying. I was laughing so hard. And then my wife came in and she's like, "What are you laughing at?" I'm like, "Dude, Michael Keaton on the Oscars." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Dude." And I showed her the video, like, briefly, and I was like, "Watch this. That, you know who that is, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's the Danny guy or whatever, is the meme guy." And I'm like, "He's more than just a meme." And then I'm like, "And it's Schwarzenegger, and it's Mr. Freeze," and she's like, "Yeah, the Penguin guy." And I'm like, "Yes." And like, they're totally taunting Batman right now, because it's like, I don't care who you are, like, I still see Michael Keaton as Batman. Like, I don't see him as just Keaton. Like, I've seen him in Birdman, I've seen him in multiple other different movies. He was the Vulture, for fuck's sake, like in Spider-Man. But like, he's still Batman to me, and so seeing him react to that, like, that was perfect. Like, how that happened at the Oscars, surrounding the awesomeness of Godzilla -1. The reason why I think it's a big deal that Godzilla -1 won the Oscar, by the way, is because, one, as I was telling you and when we were talking in Discord, is it's a diversity win, but also it's a Godzilla win. That means that the studio is being told the audience wants Godzilla, so we're gonna hopefully get a lot more kaijus.
Yes, I will hope that. And with that being said, let's go to this topic. The Takashi Yamazaki, the director of Godzilla, had now signed CAH, which is short for.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about that. What does that mean?
Hold on.
No worries. CAA. I'm sorry. Even my notes. That is short for Quality Audited Identity. So basically, he is written in stuff in Hollywood now and has gotten his own agent and stuff. We might see him more in Hollywood. He wanted to do a Star Wars movie. Please? Dude, I would love to see him do a Star Wars movie. Come on now. Like, please bring that in. Like, come on now. This guy, from what I understand, he is a brilliant filmmaker. and to see him get that kind of accreditation and get that kind of accolades, that's nuts. That's insane. He was like near tears when he got that Oscar. Like I saw him excited. I saw his family freaking getting up in support. That it was an awesome moment. So I told you, I'm like, we got to cover that. We got to cover that because it can't be brushed under the rug. It can't be something that we just gloss over. Like it's going to be a bit honed in, especially since I'm going to go see this Godzilla movie, the Kong movie. Wife's dead set on it. She's just like, she's even more dead set than I thought she'd be. I was just like, yeah, we'll go see it. I'm like, I got movie tickets already. We can just go. And she's like, no, we're gonna go see this movie, and because she knows it means a lot to me and stuff. But like, we're gonna go see it today, and then from what I understand, you're gonna go see it on this weekend at some point.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about it next week, and that episode may be a little longer.
Most likely because we will probably have a lot to talk about. And it will probably be spoiler heavy, so we all want that now.
Hey, it's hard for TPAW to be involved with anything without being rated S for spoilers. Come on now.
Yeah.
Because like I will spoil the crap out of something. I will go into like the meaty details of it. Like yesterday we were watching Frozen with the kids, and I was started watching the movie, and granted, my work day wasn't so great, so I was just like, what, already. But like, we were watching it, and I'm watching the movie, and I get to like, we get past the first act, and I'm like, this movie's stupid. and I'm like, I'm revisiting it and stuff, and I'm like, going, it's cute, it's adorable, it's a kids movie, whatever. But like, as an adult watching it, because that's what Carter just kept telling me, he's like, you're just saying that because it's a kids movie. It's a kids movie, and I'm like, but that's like saying that it's okay to make a crappy kids movie. But like, basically, it's the first act is what really threw me. Like, it wasn't even the third act, because the third act was, whatever. They come back, they Elsa and Eleanor do their thing, and then everything's fine now again. But first act was what really threw me, because the king basically is isolating. I won't talk too much about it, but the king is basically isolating Elsa, right? That's the whole part of the background of the movie.
Yeah.
And she does her whole conceal, don't feel. We've heard the mantras a million times, but like he does that, and I'm like watching some of the framework of like I'm really watching it as a director, but as a writer, because I'm like I'm getting ready to finish writing a book finally, and I'm like watching it, and I'm like, the way that they framed her on that, because her back is facing the door, and she's sitting on the ground, and she's like, tears and stuff. Like, I'm like, this is a beginning of a supervillain story, because she's being like cornered and isolated, and she's like being enveloped by her sadness. And I'm like going, they're so lucky she didn't go supervillain. And then you got Hans, who's like put in charge of watching the kingdom, because Anna's just like, I'm gonna go save my sister. You watch the kingdom. I don't care. I met you like today. And so when they come back, I'm like, Hans is a really nice guy. And they're like, and wife looked at me and went, wait, why did you say that? And I'm like, because for one, nobody's dead. Two, the kingdom's actually decent, working for it. It's not dystopia. And three, again, nobody died. Like, he could have done so much worse with the keys to the kingdom if he was truly the bad guy. And so I just kind of was like, oh my God, go ahead.
At the same time, they did a lot I actually liked from that movie, like how they actually played a lot of the expectation and all, and how they made fun of cliches like, "Ooh, we are yet met, and we love you," and they kind of made fun of that. As well as
no, you got a point there. I brought that up too. I was like, they're playing on the humor of it and stuff, and I get like what they're doing with it, but like at the same time, I'm just like, this is. But what's funny is they still win because we're still talking about it.
And let's see, in a Kaiju podcast, we are talking about Frozen.
I just figured I'd bring that up briefly. Jurassic World. Go ahead and go into the Jurassic World part.
Okay, we're already going there. I thought but before we go into Jurassic World, let's just talk about box outfit prediction on Disney movie.
Okay. All right. Cool.
But let's say deadline. He talking about it might reach 155 million global.
You think that Godzilla and Kong is going to make 155 million?
155. 35. Yeah, I think Deadline might low budgeted, my higher budgeted. I don't know, low budget or high budget, but I
So
think that the end.
your initial thought when I said 400 to 700 is you're like, that's fucking high.
You said for heaven.
Yeah, no,
Wow,
I was saying Godzilla and Kong, because the team up movie, I
no,
was
no,
like,
no, no,
this has
no.
got to
Oh
make
no,
400.
I'm sorry, you misunderstood me.
Okay.
The first weekend, I think there was about the first weekend, but I think the overall part of it result will be around what you're saying, 400 to 700. That I think is reasonable, and that kind of how the Monterey had been in the end of it. But this movie actually cheaper, which surprised me because it's a lot of Monterey action, but it's cheaper.
Yeah, no, it's technically, I was actually looking into it a bit more, because sometimes what I'll do is I'll watch these movies and I won't do further background research on them. But apparently the Godzilla and Kong movie, let me go ahead and let me take my turn at looking this up real quick. Because this movie is Godzilla and Kong is directed by Godzilla versus Kong. Let's go Godzilla and Kong. Where the fuck are you? Let's see here.
It's directed by Adam Wingard.
Yeah, so it's directed by the same guy. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, I feel like this movie is gonna be good. I feel like it's gonna be awesome. And I'm hoping to get a giant serotonin boost from watching this movie.
Yeah, definitely. And I hope it go well in both of it. If it doesn't, I think Mercy Guide will sell. So
yeah, it's the 5th film in the MonsterVerse franchise, and it's also the 38th film of the Godzilla franchise, and 13th film in the King Kong franchise. So it's like deeply embedded in like lore here. Like, we're not talking about just a typical smash, hit type movie that's like, oh yeah, we're gonna watch two monsters fight each other. Like, this movie's got some history to it, and it's got some, legacy to it. So if this movie does really well, it's gonna be awesome.
And I feel like Godzilla is the franchise that if you look at the history, a lot of the movies had kind of flop or get disappointing results in the box of it before, like in Japan, but it's still going strong because of the Mercy Guides, as well as it had been a thing for over. Well, this year it is 17. 7. I cannot. I can't fucking talk. It had been a thing for a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I this movie is being made for 135, by the way. That's how much the budget is for this movie. So it's gonna. So if it makes 400 to 700, like I previously stating, it's gonna make
even money. Yeah. Okay, let's go to Watch Your Words news. And this is kind of old news, but let's talk about it. The rumors they go on from the insider that the new Jurassic World movie will be named Jurassic City, and I'm guessing that will be the new trilogy name of it. And what we know about it is that Gareth Edwards is directing it, and if you know Gareth Edwards, he had directed a Godzilla movie before.
Yeah.
And towards Minor One, towards Minor One, towards World One, which was good. So, what do you think about that news?
Gareth Edwards directed Godzilla in 2014, and then he also directed Rogue One, Star Wars story.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to be doing Jurassic Park. So he's actually got some. He's got some skin in the game as far as the kaijus go, but he also as far as Star Wars. So he's the one who directed Rogue One. So he's the one who gave us that awesome line from Vader that says, "Try not to choke on your aspirations, director." He's the one who gave us that, and then also the end scene where Vader is like going after those people in the star the ship to get the Rogue One plans or to get the Rebel plans. That's what I'm trying to say. He also apparently was a cameo as a Resistance trench shoulder in Last Jedi. So this guy is deeply embedded in it. So I honestly I can't wait to see him do Jurassic Park.
Same
I honestly thought they were done with Jurassic Park. Like when you were telling me, when you were showing me the movie news of the dinos and stuff, I was like,
each movie made $1 billion in the bottom of it. So no, I don't need to make money. We
I was like,
still go.
they're gonna go for that bite of the apple, but they're gonna go for multiple bites of that apple. Apparently,
The thing that kind of surprised me because this movie is supposed to come out summer next year. That really soon.
wow,
Yeah.
wow,
So
that is like
the
we're not
production
talking like
really
2-3 years
tight.
from now. We're talking like next year, like
Yeah,
tomorrow.
that's really tight. So I hope they have a good script and all. Well, to be fair, Jurassic World movies, even though I like them, their story hasn't been that good in the latest in 20.
Yeah, it's been kind
But
of like average. Like we'll be watching these movies and be like, oh, that was average, or that was all right, or that was cool. Like some of this, like they come up with pretty cool stuff for these movies and stuff. You know, the new Star Wars ones, and I mean, you yourself were like you didn't like Rise of Skywalker that much, but
no.
Rogue One you liked, I think.
Yeah, I liked World One. It's the best of the Disney movies, in my opinion.
Yeah. So and I enjoyed Rogue One too. Like we watched that. Me and Carnage, whenever the kids are hanging out and stuff, we'll put on the Disney stuff. But like every so often he'll put on Star Wars just because it's something to play in the background. And recently he put on Rogue One, and I didn't know until I came downstairs and I sat in the chair and I'm like, oh look, it's that lady from Rogue One, and he's like, oh no shit, it's Rogue One, and we were watching that one and got to watch. Stanley, or I think Alan Tudyk. Yeah, Tudyk. He plays K2SO, and got to watch him, voice acting K2SO for a bit. I'm actually watching Alan Tudyk's latest show that he's been playing. He plays an alien on the show Resident Alien. Been watching that one for a bit. We watched the last couple episodes of season 2 because we're on the back half of season 2 right now, and he plays a very socially awkward alien on that show, but he does an awesome job.
What I think about this movie is that while the story had been really average or almost bad in some Jurassic World movies, did you watch Jurassic City? Thought, give me dinosaurs in society, in the city and all that. That's what I was missing from the last movie. I would like to see that as well.
Yeah, I kind of want to see that, but I also kind of want to see because this last movie that they released was heavily reliant on their legacy characters because they brought back the original 3, which was awesome. Yes. They united the original 3 with the new 3, and the new gang was the old gang, and so they kind of had the old with the new, and I liked that one a lot. I liked the newest one. Bought it and stuff. And it was like, yeah. And so I was like chowing on my food while I was watching and stuff. And it was nice because I'm like I'm now an adult. When I was a kid, I was one of the first movies my parents took me to watch was the first Jurassic Park. So I have a lot of skin in the game as far as the dino movies go. And so when I'm seeing that he's going to be involved with it, and I'm seeing that Scarlett Johansson is going to be doing
we don't know.
Scarlett Johansson. Well, it's rumored. Yeah, it's rumored. Guys, don't take what we're saying for it's word of mouth right now.
Well, it's not word of mouth anymore because I think it was Hollywood Reporter, I think, that said that they are talking about it. She not confirmed, but she is talking with the studio, so it will
probably because of the fact that they haven't had her lead a movie before. Like the last time they've had her lead a movie was Black Widow, and that movie performed averagely or below average to their standards.
To be fair, it kind of released it at a bad time as well.
Oh yeah, really did. I liked it. I liked it overall. I liked Black Widow, that movie. I felt like they needed to release it a lot sooner.
Yeah, I think she would be a good draw to people to get into it. I think, but I think also this movie, whatever if it will be bad or something like that, Gareth Edwards is great when it comes to effects. I think this movie will look a cinematography. I think this movie will look amazing. So that's what I expect at least, and a lot of dinosaur action.
Oh, they always make pretty dinosaurs in these movies.
Yeah.
That's one of the things about the last trilogy that they were heavily focusing on was I remember when the first one got released, the first Jurassic World, they actually literally like in one of the presses, I don't remember exactly who said it, but I think it was the director guy who did the last one. He made a joke about how you make these franchise movies and you put them on lunch boxes and make action figures with them. And so they literally are making them. They're like, yes, it's art, but it's commercial art. So they're gonna make it look pretty. And I want to see more T-Rexes stomping around cities. That's what I want to see. I want to see some. And then what would be even cooler? I don't know they're not gonna do it at all, but it'd be fun and interesting as if they like bridge universes and suddenly Godzilla, King Kong, and the T-Rex duked it out.
That would be really fucking weird.
Yeah, right. But
people are talking about
people
are talking about Fat and Furious and Jurassic World combined, and I can see that happening at least now because the franchise taken out the radar. But
I don't know. I have a mental image in my head of like T-Rex, King Kong, and then Godzilla, and like a triple threat, and then they all end up having to team up to go stop another big giant monster. And then you're like triple threat. Now they're all teaming up. Now they got to take on the aliens.
But T-Rex wouldn't have a chance. T-Rex is like this small compared to Godzilla and Kong. It's really small.
My arms are already too small, you dicks.
About that, do you know that they eat comics right now with Batman, Superman, Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong?
I didn't know about that. That is some cool shit right there.
Yes. I yet saw one slide of the comic book and be like, okay, I kind of want to read that bit.
Yeah, so some background here. I know I gave a little bit of background. I grew up with Godzilla, and so did Jonasnator over here. But Jonasnator over here has so much goddamn passion for like kaijus and Godzilla and like all this other shit. Like I thought I loved Godzilla. Like I think I've got a competitor over here as far as who passionately loves Godzilla and kaijus and shit. Like that's part of why this podcast is happening is because he pitched it to me and he's like, hey, why don't we just talk about Godzilla and kaijus and stuff and Monsterverse? And I'm like, why not?
Big monster.
Yes. Yeah. Like you're gonna need to get a hold of some monster merch, and that way you can show it off.
Definitely. They eat some shirts that interest me, so we will see about it.
Yeah, no, I have big hopes for this Kong movie, the Kong Godzilla movie, and when I saw that, because like I was talking to a buddy at the horror chat community. I think I remember talking to you about that years ago about how I'm in the horror chat community still, Cinema Macabre, and I was sitting there talking to him about it. And I was like, dude, Godzilla and King Kong are teaming up, and they're like, JB was like, yeah, I know, and I'm like, come on now, this is new to me. And so he was like, and then he was like going, because I posted the picture of Kong with the glove on his hand and they're running side by side, and he's like, it's the Infinity Gauntlet. And I'm like, wait, is that photoshopped in this movie? He's like, no, it's in the trailer. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So we're gonna see some cool glove action going on with Kong.
Like I said before, it's like a kid with toys. They making stuff out of it.
Yeah, no, the one of the things. Okay, so I showed the wife a couple of the trailers, right, and then I showed her one of the recent clips that they released and stuff, especially where Kong jumps on Godzilla's back and like uses him to help fight and stuff, and she's like, "We're gonna go see this movie." That's literally like that. She was like sold. She's like, we're gonna go see this movie. Like, I don't care. Like, we're gonna go see it. That's how you know she's the wife of the year.
Definitely. But yeah, I love Francine. undrar why det ser framtiden. Godzilla-fan, really hardcore Godzilla-fan maybe know that in Germany, the King Kong was that Godzilla movie from 1962. What really meant to be King Kong was that Frankenstein, or what the Godzilla was Frankenstein. Fuck, now I confused it. But anyway, after that, a lot of Godzilla movies were named Frankenstein in Germany. Which I found a really funny fun. So a lot of
See, you guys are gonna also learn some kaiju facts from Jonasnator over here. Like,
yeah.
Tell us why did you have the name Jonasnator, by the way?
Honestly, I wanted to get wetted someday back in, I don't know, 10 years ago, and I just came up with the name while being bored. That's
come on, you should have given us a story about how you were tying it to Godzilla somehow. I'm just kidding.
No,
because that's honestly what I thought you were doing when I first saw the name. I was like he's a Jonas Gator, and then I find out you love Godzilla, and I'm like, oh wait, he's a kaiju. That's what he's doing. He's a kaiju in disguise.
I'm a kaiju. I like Godzilla. Like the first Godzilla movie I watched, actually the 1908 version, and it's not a Godzilla movie, but it was still a movie that introduced me to the franchise. And then after that, I thought to watch more the Japanese ones, and yeah, I was sold. And I own a lot of Godzilla movies.
Yeah, show us the collection, dude. Show us the collection.
Now we won't show that good at camera, but I have seen Godzilla. Like, I have a lot of Godzilla movies over. A lot of them. Yeah.
There you are. Yeah. Basically, anytime you want to show off some of your Godzilla merch, do it, because it's a Godzilla podcast. It's a kaiju podcast, but you know.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. We talk about kaiju, but not only Godzilla. This is more Godzilla center episode, and we will see what next episode coming. When a new Cloverfield movie coming, maybe we'll talk about Cloverfield, because they're also a kaiju. We will see what happens.
Hell yeah! You know, I'm hyped to sell. Like, I really. I was enjoying the hell out of watching some of those trailers and stuff, but I was also enjoying watching the stuff you were sending me, and I was like going, wait a minute. So King Kong and Godzilla are going to team up, and they're going to be buddies. And this is exactly what I wanted out of the last movie that came out.
I think they hype it like Cup Buddy movie. I think they call it.
Yeah, they said a buddy cop type scenario. Because they're going to be teaming up, but they're also going to be fighting a much bigger threat. And it's apparently connected to the Titans and Skull Island.
And not, I would recommend you to watch Monarch, by the way. It's a good show. They tied to the Monsterverse.
Monarch is what you said?
Yeah, it's Monarch, Legacy of Monster.
Okay.
It's a good show.
All right, I'll check it out.
The pacing it could be a bit off, because in my opinion, it should have that many episodes, but it's still really good. So.
All right, awesome. And you're gonna go. So when are you gonna go see this movie? You're gonna see it Saturday or Sunday?
I think Saturday. We will see.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're shooting to go see it. So in just a little bit, we're going to be going to pick up my daughter from school. But then the wife and I are going to be going to go see this movie. We're going to go see it just before 5 my time. So probably later this evening, I'm going to end up spamming your phone with like hype and like just being like, oh my, like I'm going to put like caps lock and just like David Draymond Twitter style, like not yelling at you, I swear, but like really hyped up type shit. And just like really showing some of that Godzilla love, because I honestly like I'm a giant Godzilla fan. Like I really am. I may not seem like it because like I'm having you educate me on the kaiju lore in this podcast, but I love Godzilla. Like I remember telling you a story about how when I was a kid, I watched one of those Godzilla movies, the one that came out in I think it was '97 actually, and it was the one that where they fed Godzilla fish of all things, and I found out that he got blown. Like they did the typical "we're going to kill the monster by bombing him to shit" type of thing.
Yeah.
And I was so upset as a child because I think it was Arian's age or younger. I was like 7 or 8 years old because like I was born '91, so '97 technically it would have been just before the new millennium, the year 2000. So I would have been right in that age group, like a young child. And so I'm like watching the VHS tape over and over again. And it got to the point where I was trying to make my own version of that movie at the very end. I was trying to remake that movie because I didn't like how he died. I didn't like the fact he died. Come on, stop killing Godzilla.
There are a lot of things I don't like about the 98 version. Like, Godzilla should not won from the military. He should attach the military. As well as the military is not supposed to kill Godzilla. Missiles should not be the thing that kill Godzilla.
Yeah, of all things, really.
In
like
one
strikes.
movie, they were literally throwing a black hole in Godzilla, and he survived it. I'm not even kidding. They were throwing a black hole.
I remember you showing me that. I remember you showing me that clip. And like, wasn't it like they had the black hole hovering above him,
Yes.
and then like the black hole failed to kill him?
Yes.
And like there was some I think it was a movie that was in Japan, was it not? Like it looked like it was made in Japan.
Yeah.
And it was like super comedic and like meta. And like it was like they knew what they were doing, but it was like the movie knew it was aware of what it was while still being serious enough that it was a Godzilla movie. Like
that's why I hope that this new one is doing that go crazy with it while know exactly what it is.
Yes, exactly. No, I when you saw that you told me that it was going to be comedic, but it's also going to have its serious tones, but yet it's still going to be it's more the cartoonish zany version of Godzilla -1. I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. Like this is going to be epic. It's going to be epic as hell because it's going to be like DC versus Marvel, where Godzilla -1 is the DC serious, gritty, we're all sad and emo. And then Marvel is the sparkly colors everywhere type of thing,
exactly.
and very funny.
We get a pet or two words, like it's awesome.
Yeah, like that's what I've heard. So in the next hour and change, next hour or two, we're gonna find out just how awesome this movie is, and then from there, I'm gonna spam the hell out of Jonas's phone. So,
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so it's going to be great. And that's going to be our topic next week, guys, is we're going to be talking about this movie. See, right now we're talking pre-hype and we're doing a bit of speculation, having some fun, talking about what the movie would be like, and then box office discussion, talking about how much money they're going to make. They're going to make all the money. And then next week we're going to talk about just how awesome the movie actually is, and then probably talk what they would do in the future.
Yes. Speculation of future multiverse as well, the future of Toho Godzilla movie as well, because it would be interesting how to do that, because I want a sequel to -1, because -1 was so good that I want a sequel to it. And the direction had actually talked a bit that if he does a sequel, he want to have other monster in it, but still having that serious drama nature of the first one, the -1 one, and that seemed really interesting for me, because that would be the first time, like in a Godzilla movie, when the two fighting, but at the same time, will serious, will dramatic, a drama with two monster fighting. It's really interesting. I want it.
Oh yeah. No, and I absolutely want to see I want to see them make a sequel to Godzilla -1 purely on the idea of like if the director has a vision for it, and he probably
Yes.
did while he was making this one.
Yep.
Because he'd said in a couple of interviews, he's like, they allowed me to make this motion picture. If they will allow me to, I'd like to make another picture for them. Like, so
Yes.
he's open to the idea of a sequel.
Yes.
And then with his Oscar win, that should also propel him upward to having a bit of that creative license to make
Exactly.
another one.
And he have won many awards in Japan as well. So
Oh yeah, no, I'm hyped. I'm absolutely hyped. Is there anything else you wanted to cover?
I don't think so. We are talking about a lot already, and it has been a kind of messy first episode, but we are getting there.
Hey, you know, every single episode, we learn new shit and we establish more of a chemistry type dynamic, and that's why I wasn't too worried. Like, you know, I was like, we'll get there. We'll figure it out. And you piled a lot of notes for us to uncover, so I think we covered everything that you had noted.
Yes.
But yeah, so we'll find more news to cover for next week, and we'll talk more Godzilla and more awesome kaiju stuff. And I'm TPAW.
And I'm Jonasnator, and we are out.
Yep, this is TPAW's Playground. Like and subscribe if you like this. Give us more ideas in the comments down below. And, you know, go see a kaiju movie. Come on now. Have a week.